What's the one thing that can take your speaking and teaching to the next level? That's what we're talking about on this quick episode of Student Ministry Connection. Let's get ready to connect and grow. Welcome to Student Ministry Connection. My name is Steve Cullum. In Colorado, we just wrapped up 7 weekends of winter camps where about 50 different churches came together of all different denominations to collaborate on these camps. This year, we saw over 3,500 students attend, and we're currently collecting all the numbers of decisions and baptisms and more. If you want to learn more about what that camp is all about and how you could do something similar, be sure to check out episode 156, where I talked to our director, Dan Lynch, all about it. And I got to attend 3 out of 7 weekends this year. And as I was sitting through those main sessions, hearing all the different speakers that we had, something stood out to me. While they were all preaching from the same main scriptures and had the same theme to work through, all of them approached it in a slightly different way. And they delivered it in different ways as well. And you know what? Each week of camp encountered Jesus and saw God work in some huge ways. In fact, over the last 8 years that I've been able to participate in these camps, I've seen lots of different speaking styles. We've had people who are more animated and others who are a little more reserved. We've had some who are loud and some who are quieter. And we've had some that dig into the Bible study side of things and others who make it very, very practical. And while that's not something that's very surprising on its own, one thing has surprised me. I've sat through very, very dynamic and animated speakers and then heard students talk about how it was so great. But then the very next year, I've heard someone who was almost the complete opposite, and then heard students say that that person was the best they've ever heard. So today, I wanted to provide one quick tip for becoming the best speaker you can be. Are you ready for it? Be yourself. Okay, I know that's probably not what you're looking for. You are probably waiting for me to share some earth-shattering thing that you've never heard before. But I'm telling you the truth. One of the most important things you can do is be the person that God has created you to be. But it's so easy to hear other speakers, especially ones who have large followings and speak on some big stages. There are people who it seems everyone loves, and you may be tempted to imitate them. And in the beginning, I think that's okay. The problem happens when you continue to imitate them rather than discovering who you are. And it's going to be really tempting for most of us to think, oh, but I'm not really animated, or I can't memorize my messages, or I can't do this, or can't do that. So I must be a horrible speaker. Well, that's not necessarily the case. You just might not be able to do all of those other things, but that doesn't mean you're bad. It just means you're not that other person. And that's okay. You're you. I mean, I know you probably tell your students this all the time, but sometimes we need to hear that as well. So, as you continue to practice teaching and preaching, feel free to try different things. Think of it like you're trying on different clothes in a store. It might look good on the hanger, but then you try it on and look in the mirror, and some things will look good while other things you may not feel so comfortable in. And some things will then prompt you to grab a different shirt that you would have never tried before. But now that you tried this one, the other one looks like it might work. I think you get the metaphor, but if not, let's make this really simple. Try different approaches. Try being animated. Try being reserved. Try to memorize. Try to use notes. Try different styles of notes. Try to use more slides. Try being loud. Try being quiet. Try using different dynamics of loud and quiet. Try different phrasing. You'll find that some things will come very natural to you, while other things are going to seem very foreign. And other times, you'll try something that might not work, but it'll inspire you to then tweak it just a bit. And then all of a sudden, that will become your thing. And while you're doing this, be sure to have others around you who can provide solid feedback, not just people who will tell you you did a good job. We need people who can be honest with us about what worked and what didn't work. And we need different perspectives. So don't just ask your spouse or your parent. Ask a good friend, ask an experienced youth pastor, ask a teenager, ask a volunteer in your ministry, and maybe even consider asking someone who doesn't even go to church. Feedback will help us get better, and feedback will also help us discover our own voice. Yes, prayer and good preparation and all that are incredibly important to be a good speaker. But one thing that I think often gets overlooked, and it might be the most important thing, is to just be yourself and let God use you. If this has been helpful, please be sure to leave a positive review on your podcast app and also share this with others in student ministry. And if you'd like to book me as a speaker or others, be sure to check out the Speaker Hub at youthmenhub.com/speakerhub. And if you'd like to support this podcast and my ministry with National Network of Youth Ministries, go to nnym.org/Steve Cullum, or you can follow the links in the show notes. We've got some great episodes coming up, so make sure you subscribe on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube so you don't miss them. And until next time, be sure to stay connected, and may God bless your ministry.